Hello boys and girls, thank you for joining me in this video as we look at telling time to the minute. So what I want to do first is I just want to review a few things because we really haven't talked about time or clocks at all. Now this type of clock here is called an analog clock, alright? And these aren't quite as common. Normally we see a digital clock where it actually shows the numbers, but on watches and sometimes in buildings and even in our own homes we may have an analog clock. So it's always good to know how to tell time on this type of a clock. Now if you remember, when we're looking at our clock we've got two hands or two little arrows. The short hand or the short arrow tells us our hour, what hour of the day it is. And there are 24 hours in a day, so we go around the clock 2 times because we go around once to get to 12 and then twice to get to the 24th hour. Now our longer hand or our longer arrow is the minutes hand. That tells us how many minutes have gone by in that hour. So can you tell me just by looking at this clock what time it is? That's right, it's 2 o'clock. We know that because the 2 or the hour hand is pointing to the 2 and the minute hand is pointing to the 12, which also can represent a 00 or no minutes left. We're starting at the top of the hour. So it is 2 o'clock on our clock. Now let's say that, let me go ahead and erase this. Oops. It is this time. What time is it? This one's a little bit trickier. Now we can't say 4:08, that's not right. 4:80, that's not right. Once we get past that 12 o'clock, our minutes change a little bit, all right? And what you do is you see each of these little tallies, each of these little marks, that represents 1 minute. Now if we were to count up all of these little tallies, all these little marks going around our clock, and we get back up to the 12, that gives us 60. That means that there are 60 minutes in each hour. It takes 1 hour for our minute hand to go all the way around our clock and to get back to the 12. Now, what we're going to do is we don't want to count each individual little minute all the way to our 8 to see what time it is. There's an easier way to do it. What we're going to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we hit the 1, that means that 5 minutes have passed. 5 tally marks have passed. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means that when we get to the 2 on our clock, that means that 10 minutes have passed. Are you starting to see a pattern? Let's try one more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Have you noticed it yet? That's right. We are counting by 5s. So now this only goes to when we're talking about minutes, okay? But when we're talking about minutes and we're counting up our minutes, each large number in our clock represents counting by 5s. So we have 5, 10, 15, what would this be? 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So, what that means is our hour hand is pointing to the 4, which means it's 4